it's time for the once in a blue moon update video, guys. And I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, specifically when it comes to YouTube, AI, and Hybrid Town, specifically on the I want to talk about it list because I feel like it's important. And then there's the other stuff which I don't want to, but I feel like I need to. Because I want you guys to know about this stuff because I feel like it's very important. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but there will be a trigger warning for this video due to certain topics that I will be explaining in this video, as well as other things going forward. After all, I want to make sure there's clarification for everyone, and I can't necessarily do that if everyone is not fully aware. So, again, I'm going to be repeating this only once. If you have an audio listener in the family gathering or friend group meeting or whatever you're doing, anywhere, any given time, feel free to read the warnings list because viewer and listener discretion is advised for this video. Okay, so to start things off, let's just rip the band-aid off right now. Probably would hurt more to rip the band-aid off, but whatever, it's a matter of phrasing. Mentally speaking, there's been a lot of stuff in terms of things going on with politicians who, at this point, all of them, in some way or form, just don't care about you and as a person, and they don't care about me either. And unfortunately, sometimes politicians continue to not learn from their mistakes or take accountability to the point where it becomes a detrimental point to some people that they start going too far. And I ended up being one of those people who ended up going too far. And if you've seen my recent posts on X that aren't announcing a new video or whatever, you probably already know what I'm talking about, specifically what I'm referring to. And God, all of it was so fucking stupid. Actually, not all of it, because I still stand by my own personal belief that the World Economic Forum, which used to be something that was created, an entire group that was created for the greater good of the people a long time ago, like a lot of things, was used by very corrupt people and is something that allows them to have extra power and allows them to do crazy stuff to try and get reaction and everything. And, well, as you could probably guess, a lot of it ended up being bad. It got to the point where even I even it got so bad that God damn it. I ended up arguing with my dad and I thought about cutting him off from my life after an argument. Because I was so fucking blindsided. Because I couldn't trust the government. I tried to get sources from reliable people. However, some people are using that to essentially just use platforms such as YouTube and other video platforms out there to just manipulate. I'm not gonna say grift because some people who are called grifters and unjustly, by the way, ended up essentially being honest about everything. Especially to all the hate going on, to the real marginalized group, which just so happens to be straight men, or just to be more specific, straight white men. And you know how I keep using the term heterophobia? That's one of the reasons why. Because it's not just queer people who are doing this. For whatever reason, years of angst against people who you sort of just ignored because they're dipshits who want to be homophobic or something. But no, it's also people demanding to want to do more. More than what even their bodies say could be allowed. Look, I'm not stupid. And I know what people are doing. And that's why I hate it. I really. I get angry all the time and I panic. And so far, well, if you've heard what I've said previously, which I'm sure you have, don't worry. And you can put two and two together. Yeah. I'll try to do better with stuff like this in the future. But just know that once I've uploaded this video or before then, I would have probably sorted things out with Dad. So I don't want you guys to worry about my family life. However, I do need to talk about something else, and this is one of the two things that I want to talk about. I figured since I've already got some negative stuff out of the way, I can also talk about this. Recently, a YouTube channel known as Sonic Speed Network ended up essentially getting a community guideline strike because of YouTube's AI. I've also got a community strike for one of my videos, apparently. Considering, well, I wouldn't say that I got. Sorry, I'm getting confused. With, I know this is supposed to be a serious video, and we got topics like this, and I just messed it up. That's probably a blooper if it was something fictional, but I'm going completely off script here. So yeah, I apologize in advance for that, and just in general, in case I make any more like that again. But as I was trying to say, my video, or the video in question, which of course was Takuya and Chloe looking at fan art on DeviantArt, ended up getting me a notification from YouTube saying that the video would be restricted in some areas, and that's perfectly understandable. But what YouTube's AI decided to do next, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. If you are the prompter who decided to say cancel Sonic Speed Network and gotta go fast, then you clearly have no soul. So, you've probably seen the recent videos already talking about it. If not, I'll leave a link to the original video where it was mentioned, which was made by Sonic Speed Network themselves, and everything in the description. But essentially, a lot of the stuff that they're planning to do for monetize. Again, unscripted. I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of stuff that they're planning to do in terms of monetization and everything is either going to be through platforms like Patreon or via donations to the Twitch chats and via their Ko-fi. Because apparently, according to YouTube's AI, anything that is at least PG-13 is a bit too much for them. And of course that means that if you have to suffer the ire of YouTube itself, in terms of its AI, then your stuff is not going to be on YouTube, or it's an RNG depending on what the gods of the AI tell it to say, because this hasn't just happened with Sonic Speed Network and Gotta Go Fast, because this has also happened with Stanley Moth, specifically on his second channel as well. As far as I know, probably both, even though it was a reaction to a video that was already on YouTube's platform to begin with. The same AI did that. But again, the same YouTube AI was prompted by its overlords to do this again over something very serious, such as very concerned people, VTuber or not, having to deal with whatever BS they're pulling just because they reacted to Suwon-head's video talking about a dating app for minors known as Viz. I'm sorry, but I thought the male loneliness epidemic could be sorted out if you weren't such a hypocritical, heterophobic prick. Why are we targeting kids with dating apps now? But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if good old Neil got some World Economic Forum blood money in his hands, because yes, while YouTubers reacting to another person's content is considered a no-go because of how it's harmful to minors or whatever other excuse, we have an entire comparethemarket.com ad just front and center with one of its mascots, Sergey, lying in a pool with a sensor bar over his crotch, clearly implying that image had a cock on it. I am not But at the end of the day, my point still remains. If you want to help out channels such as Sonic Speed Network and God Go Fast Out, then I highly recommend that you support them through their Twitch streams and Ko-Fi for donations and memberships. I highly recommend that you do so with Patreon. Because, yeah, this is not okay. As for Hypertown Episode 1, I am still going to be making Episode 1 and potentially future episodes. But that will mainly just depend on whether or not governments are done being stupid and wanting everyone getting doxxed. I'm not gonna go any further on that because we all know what I'm talking about with that. And again, there's a reason that websites. I know I probably didn't mention this before, but I'm gonna mention it at least now anyway. There is a reason why sites such as YouTube have safeguards for a reason. We do not need AI, and we do not need overbearing idiots who are stupid, or in the case of the current UK Prime Minister, like to play Nazi. Yes, I'm going to continue calling here that. I'm not going to apologize. He's allowing anti-Semitism to breed in the UK. Sorry, not sorry. And I have no actual consideration or care for anyone who's gonna come after him at this point. All politicians are bad at this point. I give up. Sorry, I'm doing this very late, so if you hear me yawning, that's probably right. But as for the pilot for Hypertown, I'm hoping to get it onto Newgrounds if I haven't already. Again, it's going to take me a while to do stuff for a bit as I'm trying to clear my mind of, well, the shit show that was 2025. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm probably gonna now with things, but hopefully there's less of the bad stuff in 2026. That's all I can do right now. Honestly. So, yeah. Hopefully, with enough pushback, overbearing idiots will finally know their place, and that is either shutting up about their own personal need to play pretend ruler of an iron fist, or they go work in sanitary. Because That mentality is not for anyone's same. Or better yet, bring back mental institutes for these people specifically, because therapy ain't working for them. Clearly. Um. Yeah, so that's the end of the update video. The background footage that you're seeing playing on repeat is just what I got from a actual VR chat world that was a recreation of the arc from Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. That's going to be reoccurring as I did take some pictures of the actual VR chat recreation, which was made by Treff. So shout out Treff. And yeah, I will be using that for some backgrounds for future episodes of Hybrid Town. So stay tuned for that. It will probably be episode 1, probably episode 2. I don't know. Hell, if anything, it could be in episode 13 for irony, I guess. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. But yeah. Hopefully 2026 could be a lot better in some areas. But for now, I'm gonna sort stuff out for my life, my channel, and who knows? Maybe I might be streaming on twitch.tv/Fortline a little later in the evening. I don't really know. But until then, I'm just gonna be signing off. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and please just stay safe out there.